Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a geopolitical earthquake that is reshaping the world order. And let me tell you, Europe is heading straight for an economic disaster. Oh, we've been talking about this for months, and now, in the last 48 to 72 hours, the evidence has been piling up. Let's break it all down. Donald Trump's vision for the future of America is crystal clear. He wants to slash military spending, pull back on foreign entanglements, and instead focus on economic growth, technological dominance, and above all, energy independence. And what does that mean for Europe? Chaos. Because the entire structure of the European Union has been built on dependency. Dependency on the US, for defense, for trade, and now they find themselves without a strategy. Now, let's talk about Emmanuel Macron's recent visit to Washington. He tried to present himself as the voice of Europe, but let's be honest, he's struggling even to hold his ground in France. Oh, what's critical here is that he just let something slip, something massive. While European leaders publicly claim they are standing firm against Russia, behind closed doors, they're negotiating. They are desperate to hold on to whatever leverage they have left. And Macron has just admitted that Europe is holding on to $230 billion of frozen Russian assets. But here's the kicker. That money isn't technically theirs. It's only theirs if Russia agrees to let them keep it as part of a settlement deal. And why would Russia do that? Only if Europe agrees to negotiate a peace that leaves half of Ukraine in Russia's hands. That's the game being played behind the scenes. And let's not forget Trump's response. He made it very clear. America has poured $350 billion into Ukraine, so it has the right to negotiate access to its resources. Rare earth minerals, energy infrastructure. Trump sees Ukraine as an economic asset, and if Europe wants to stay relevant, it better play ball. This isn't about morality. This is about business. Now, let's take a step back and see the bigger picture. Trump is trying to dismantle the Cold War-era military-industrial complex and replace it with a new order, one based on economic leverage rather than military intervention. Instead of mutual destruction, Trump is proposing mutual dependency. And guess who's already on board? Russia. Putin has openly said he welcomes American companies to exploit Russia's vast rare earth mineral reserves. And he knows that if the US becomes economically tied to Russia, it has no incentive to sabotage its economy. That's the real strategy, creating a system where the US and Russia need each other, making war pointless. Of course, the old guard, the deep state, the military-industrial complex, the European elites, they hate this plan. For decades, they've profited from endless war, coups, and backroom deals. They don't want peace. They don't want economic cooperation. They want to keep Europe under US military control, even if it means destroying its economy in the process. So where does that leave Europe? On the edge of a cliff. The EU is desperately clinging to NATO, because without it, they'd have to actually invest in their own defense. Trump has already said he's cutting America's military spending in Europe in half. That means the EU has two choices: keep pretending Russia is an existential threat and pour billions into NATO, or accept that the game has changed and start working towards economic cooperation. On either way, the days of free security from the US are over. And here's the bottom line. Europe is walking blindfolded into a crisis of its own making. While Trump is securing America's future, European leaders are too afraid to take control of their own destiny. They're dragging their citizens into economic ruin to maintain a failed strategy. But here on this channel, we see the truth, and we will keep exposing it. If you found this analysis valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. The mainstream won't tell you this, but we will. Until next time, stay sharp, stay informed, and fight for your freedom.